The cannabis industry is booming, but only about 27% of dispensaries are actually profitable. With rising taxes and competition, many are just barely breaking even. If you don't know the warning signs, your dispensary could be next. In this video, I walk through the 3 alarming reasons why dispensaries fail, and you're going to want to stick around until the end because number 3 is a silent killer. Let's look at the numbers. So average retail cannabis prices have actually dropped 32% since 2021, putting pressure on profit margins, right? So a lot of times you open up your dispensary, especially when legalization first starts, and then you have a lineup of people outside your door. As competition comes in, as market saturation comes in, the whole supply and demand curve comes, right? More dispensaries keep opening up. They offer cannabis products at lower prices, biting into your profit margin. So we need to make sure you're also very operationally lean as you continue working on the business, because if you don't make sure that you have these things set up from the beginning, it's very, very hard to backtrack and make money once a lot of the competition is in. Second, MedMen filed for bankruptcy, citing 411 million USD in liabilities. You can't be too big to fail. 3, the cannabis industry experienced a 21% drop in hiring in 2024 compared to the previous year, indicating a shift in rapid expansion to prioritizing operational efficiencies. As more competition comes into the place, your business has to get better. It's no longer, hey, if you build it, they will come. You need to make sure that when you have your dispensary open, you're doing the right things all of the time, and you're setting up a good foundation for your business moving forward. But 4, the good news is that the US cannabis industry is expected to reach almost 45 billion in revenue this year in 2025 compared to 31.4 billion in 2024. Right? So let's dive into it. Mistake number 1, opening too many stores too fast. Some dispensaries grow too fast and end up broke, right? So the big problem with this is that there is a lot of, let's say, excitement when opening up a new store. And typically, if you find the right location and you're early enough in the market, you're probably going to be profitable and you're probably going to be making a lot of money. Now, I had a podcast with a dispensary owner not too long ago, and he opened up his first store. It was super profitable. He was like, okay, well, if I open up a second one, it's double the profits. If I open up a third one, it's triple the profits. He actually even ended up moving out of his condo and living inside one of his stores. If you know, commercial real estate typically doesn't have showers, they don't have a kitchen, so there's a whole kind of mess surrounding that, right? But as you probably can assume that the third store didn't mean triple the profits, it just mean triple the operational inefficiencies. So what ended up happening is he had to scale back down a little bit and his life's a lot better. Once you have the one store set up and everything is great, you need to make sure you have your systems and your processes put in place so that you can take the SOP from one store to the second store, from the second store to the third store. And that's what McDonald's does fantastically, right? It doesn't matter if the CEO, stops working in the business for a little while, the businesses of McDonald's are going to work the same, and you want to make sure you do that for your own dispensary. Mistake number 2, taxes kill profits. If you're a business owner and you were in the non-cannabis space, you were able to write off pretty much anything you wanted within reason from a business perspective. However, there's this little thing called Section 280E where you're not allowed to write off the things that you normally would from a business perspective. And this is a massive problem because if you're going to go and do your financial projections and you realize that you can't write off the products that you initially were going to write them off, you're going to be in the hole for a lot of money and you can't recoup any of those costs. So please make sure you get a certified tax professional specifically in the cannabis space, because they will know exactly what you need to do and how you need to project your finances in the future. Mistake number 3 is selling cheap products. So I see this all the time. It's the race to the bottom. And again, if you are very well vertically integrated and you have your systems and operational efficiencies put in perfectly fine, if you're the Walmart of cannabis, then go ahead, price for the bottom, because you know that you're able to squeak out every single percentage point at each step down from your vertical integration standpoint. However, if you're not that robust in terms of your operational efficiencies, selling cheap product and the race to the bottom is just a recipe for disaster. There's already market saturation and there's already taxes that you need to deal with. So how are you going to make up that profit margin? You can't just also keep selling lower and lower cost products, right? So you need to make sure that you have a great business surrounding the product that you have so that you can justify the product pricing that you want to charge moving forward. So when it comes to loyalty, there's four main things that you want to take into consideration, right? The first one is a good quality product, because if your product's bad, then nobody's going to end up coming back. If you go to a restaurant and they serve you food that you absolutely hate, you're never going to go back there ever again. The same thing applies for your business. The second one is good buying experience, right? So the overall buying experience. Do you have a product available? Do you have parking available? Are you in a good location? These are the types of things that you're going to want to make sure that you can provide a good overall purchasing experience so that you can command a higher price on the things that you're looking to achieve. And then the last bit is that you also want to make sure that the customer experience is good. So if you have your bud tenders and you want to make sure they're trained and well educated on all the different products, right? You want to make sure that they're remembering names, hopefully remembering birthdays, remembering faces at least, so that they can then nurture the relationship with your customer so that they keep coming back over and over and over again. Hey, very quickly, if you're enjoying this video, I have something very special for you. In the links in the description below, you can check out the workbook that goes along with this specific video. It includes checklists, summaries, and a step-by-step action plan to take your dispensary to the next level. In addition to this, I have a cool little bonus where when you download your workbook, you'll have access to all the previous workbooks I've created, and then also all the future workbooks I'm going to create. So you're going to want to get it in the description below. Now back to the video. How to build a strong dispensary. So we've covered the 3 big mistakes on what you do if you are not running a dispensary properly, but here's some things that I would encourage you to go ahead and focus on. So rule number 1 is focus on profits first and then expand. So you want to build a successful store first. And I know this makes a lot of sense, but this doesn't just mean make a lot of money with your first store, have enough money to then open up the second one. You need to make sure you can transfer the learnings from the previous store then to the second store. There's a reason why us as humans were able to evolve over time, right? It's because we were able to read, write, document, learn from our previous ancestors' mistakes, and then make a better change moving forward. You need to do that exact same thing for your business. So it's like, what are the character traits that you're looking for when you're hiring people? How many people do you need to hire for? What's the seasonality of your business? What types of products are really good and are guaranteed sellers? What types of discounts do you need to provide? Are you offering a loyalty program? What's your marketing looking like? Then operationally, how much do you need to pay in taxes? How do you know what a good location is? Like, what does a good location mean, right? And then once you know all of these things, you can then expand to your second store, your third store, your fourth store. But you need to make sure that everything with regards to the first store is doing well, because the second store doesn't mean that you're going to escape all of your expenses. If anything, if you have operational inefficiencies with your first business, you're just going to double the operational inefficiencies in your second business. And the biggest problem is that these inefficiencies are exponential. Rule number 2 is you want to make sure you keep customers coming back. The problem is that a lot of times we get caught up in these revenue numbers and how many customers that we're bringing in. We rarely look at the metric of what is the percentage of return customers. So if you've been following my channel for a little bit, I do a lot of marketing for dispensaries. And I had a client come in and say, hey, Brandon, our sales have been dipping over the past 18 months. Can you help me and figure out why? I'm like, sure. So I took a look at his sales data. And when I looked at the data and all the analytics and stuff like that, I saw that for every first person that came in and purchased from the business, 70% of people never returned. So out of 10 people, 7 people never ended up coming back to the business, right? So at the end of the day, you're a retail location or you deliver within a certain radius of people. Sure, there's people coming in and out of the city, but you're going to have your main customers who are going to come in and purchase over and over and over again. According to the BIA advisory right here, returning customers spend more than 67% more than first-time buyers, right? So you want to make sure you develop that good overall experience so that people come in and continually purchase from you. Rule number 3, rank first on Google, right? This should probably be number 1, but if we're talking about the hierarchy, and if you looked at my old dispensary, not the old video, my previous video on dispensary marketing in 2025, you'll see that SEO is one of the foundational pieces of marketing, right? Because how will people find you online? Where do people search? They're going to go online, they're going to go on Google, they're going to type in dispensary near me, and then they're going to go and find you, right? It's not enough just having a Google business profile, although that's a fantastic first step. You need to make sure you optimize things and put things in place properly, because if you're not ranking on the first page, you're pretty much invisible, right? According to HubSpot right here, 75% of people never look past the first page of Google. So you want to make sure that you go ahead, get your rankings done properly, and then you can figure out other things like emails, loyalty programs, social media, community outreach. But Google is absolutely the main thing that you need to focus on if you want to take your dispensary to the next level in 2025. Now, to finish off, if you want more customers for your dispensary and you want to talk about any of these things that I spoke about right here, please go ahead, check out the links in the description below. I'll be more than happy to talk about anything with regards to making sure that you have your customers coming back, trying to figure out the best strategies with regards to opening up more businesses in the future, what your SOPs need to look like, anything under the sun with regards to dispensaries. If I don't have the answer personally, I'll be able to point you in the right direction either way. That's it for me today. Until next time, I'll talk to you guys later. See you. Bye.